p.m. Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The Prime Minister, during a telephonic conversation with UAE's President, has appreciated his government's consistent support to Pakistan. The Deputy Prime Minister has expressed satisfaction over the pace of construction of Jagra 2 hydropower plant in Neelam district of Azad Kashmir. The Chinese Minister of International Department of the Communist Party, Liu Qianchao, will arrive in Pakistan tomorrow on a 3-day visit. At the United Nations, Pakistan has called for investigation into the acquisition of sophisticated arms by terrorist groups. The International Day for the Elimination of Sexual Violence in Conflict is being observed today. In the ICC T20 World Cup 2024, the first match of the Super 8 stage will be played between the United States and South Africa in North Sound today. And now the news in detail. The Prime Minister Mohammed Shahbaz Sharif today held a telephonic conversation with the President of the United Arab Emirates, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, and conveyed warm greetings on the blessed occasion of Eid al-Adha. The two leaders extended best wishes and prayers for the continued progress and prosperity of the peoples of both the countries. The Prime Minister reiterated Pakistan's deep appreciation to the President for the United Arab Emirates' consistent support to Pakistan and also reaffirmed Pakistan's full support to the UAE through thick and thin, emphasizing the significance of the frequent high-level exchanges between the two countries. The Prime Minister extended cordial invitation to Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan to visit Pakistan. In response, Sheikh Mohammed graciously conveyed his acceptance of the invitation and agreed to visit at an early date. The Deputy Prime Minister and the Foreign Minister, Senator Mohammad Ishaq Dar, visited the under-construction site of Jagra 2 hydropower plant in Neelam district, Azad Jammu and Kashmir today. He was briefed on the progress of the construction of 50-megawatt power plant. He was briefed that the work on the Jagra 2 power plant is proceeding as per the plan and the construction will be completed next year. Expressing satisfaction and appreciation over the progress of the project, the Deputy Prime Minister promised to take up the issue at the ECNEC to fast-track the approvals. The Deputy Prime Minister also met the Chinese engineers and the Pakistani team working on the Jagra 2 hydropower plant. He conveyed best wishes of the Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif and the government for the engineers, technicians and workers employed in the project. He expressed the confidence that the project will contribute significantly towards electrical power generation in Azad Jammu and Kashmir and bring benefits to the local population in terms of employment, education, agriculture, industrial development and tourism. The Minister of the International Department of the Communist Party of China and member of the Communist Party's Central Committee, Liu Qianchao, will arrive in Pakistan tomorrow on a 3-day visit to participate in the third meeting of the Pakistan-China Joint Consultative Mechanism. During the visit, Liu Qianchao, along with the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister, will attend the third meeting of the Pakistan-China Joint Consultative Mechanism of the political parties on CPAC. He will also call on the senior civil and military leadership. Established in 2019, the Joint Commission Mechanism of Political Parties on CPAC is a regular consultation mechanism between the Communist Party of China and the political parties of Pakistan. Pakistan has called for investigation into the acquisition of sophisticated arms by terrorist groups, including Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. Addressing the fourth review conference of the United Nations Programme of Action on Small Arms and light weapons at the United Nations, the permanent representative of Pakistan to the United Nations, Ambassador Munir Akram, made a powerful demand for an investigation into how the terrorist groups and criminal organizations acquire such sophisticated weapons, emphasizing the need for a concerted campaign to recover all weapons from terrorist groups like the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. He said it is the responsibility of all states and the United Nations to take measures to prevent the illicit trade, transfer, and diversion of these arms. He also identified the advent of new technologies such as unmanned aerial vehicles and drones as deepening challenges in combating the proliferation of increasingly lethal small arms. The ambassador reiterated Pakistan's steadfast commitment to the United Nations Programme of Action. The first Miljam-class warship of the Pakistan Navy, PNS Babur, visited the port of Jeddah. According to ISPR, upon its arrival in Jeddah, the ship of the Pakistan Navy was warmly welcomed by senior officials of the Royal Saudi Naval Forces and Pakistani diplomatic officials. Commanding officer of PNS Babur held a meeting with the Deputy Western Fleet Commander, Royal Saudi Naval Forces. During the meeting, issues of mutual interest, including maritime cooperation between the two countries, were discussed. This is Radio Pakistan. The Indian troops in their fresh act of state terrorism have martyred two Kashmiri youth in Baramulla district of the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. According to Kashmir Media Service, the troops martyred the youth in a fake encounter staged during a so-called cordon-in-search operation in Hadipura, Rafiabad area of the district. Earlier, two Indian Forces personnel were injured in an attack in the same area. Violent military operations are also underway in Kupwara, Bandipura, Doda, Raisi, Katwa, Samba, Punch, and Rajouri districts of the occupied territory. The local residents are facing great inconvenience due to these operations. Meanwhile, the All Parties Hurriyat Conference has called for a complete shutdown in the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir on Friday to protest the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to the territory. APHC spokesperson Advocate Abdul Rashid Minhas announced the strike in a statement in Srinagar, which has been supported by other Hurriyat leaders and organizations. The strike call has gained widespread support on social media, with posters circulating online. Senator Mushahid Hussain Sayyid has become the first Pakistani to address the official international BRICS forum hosted by Russia at the far eastern port of Vladivostok. During his keynote address at the forum, he said Pakistan hopes to join BRICS as it wants to be a part of the new emerging order of the global south. Mushahid Hussain Sayyid said Pakistan, as a member of the United Nations Security Council during 2025-2026, will be a robust voice for peace, justice, and the oppressed. He also thanked Russia and China for their principled position on the Gaza genocide. Saudi Arabia's Minister of Health, Fahad al-Jalajal, has said the ministry's health plans for this year's Hajj season have been successfully carried out. In a press statement, he said there were no outbreaks of diseases or other threats to public health reported during the Hajj. The NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg has underscored the need to expand cooperation between the Western Military Alliance and partners in the Indo-Pacific region. He was addressing a joint press conference with the American Secretary of State Antony Blinken in Washington. He also highlighted concerns about Moscow's potential support for Pyongyang's missile and nuclear programs. In Sri Lanka, the National Poson Week commenced today and will continue till Monday. During the week, nearly 1 million devotees are expected to visit the holy city of Anuradhapura and Mahintale for the Poson festivities this year. Poson festival marks the arrival of Buddhism to Sri Lanka when Arahat Mahinda, the son of Emperor Ashoka, preached the first sermon to a Sri Lankan king. The International Day for the Elimination of Sexual Violence and Conflict is being observed today. In his message on the occasion, the United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres said this year's day focuses on health care. He said hospitals and other healthcare facilities should be beacons of safety and healing for all those injured in conflict, including survivors of sexual violence. Meanwhile, a report released by the Kashmir Media Service has revealed that Indian Forces personnel sexually assaulted over 11,000 women during the last 36 years in occupied territory. And now cricket in the ICC T20 World Cup 2024. The first match of the Super 8 stage will be played between the United States and South Africa at North Sound today. The match will start at 7:30 in the evening. And finally, the weather report. Windstorm thunderstorm rain is expected at isolated places in Islamabad, Upper Punjab, Upper Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Kashmir, Gilgit-Baltistan during the next 12 hours. However, windstorm thunderstorm rain with isolated heavy falls is expected in Lower Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Northeast Balochistan, and Central and South Punjab during evening and night. Hot and dry weather is expected in other parts of the country. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.